Hi, I'm Jill. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have a beautiful movement flow for you just to help you get more grounded in your body and release some stress, whether it's been from a busy work day or just life in general. And I'm very excited to be back, and I hope you enjoy it. Hi, go ahead and join me down on your mat. Let's just come down really easy. Take your time to get down and find yourself in a kneeling position. Have a little look at your thigh bones, and let's just take a moment to decide where we're going to place our attention as we get started today. So close off your eyes, and let's just take a little bit of a journey inward and see where we have some places in our body that could do with some attention and could move with more ease. So often we like to go into fix-it mode, and we have less attention placed on just allowing something time and space to sort itself out. Notice any little niggles, any pain, any stuck stress. And notice if you can place your attention on just a curiosity surrounding it, instead of an instant need to fix it. And notice if your body starts to maybe just naturally organize and cooperate and come to a place of more alignment without overly controlling or overly trying to fix it. And let's draw our attention, to our eyes, to behind our eyelids, and notice if you can see any flashing, any movement, any kind of just motion other than stillness there. And stay with that until it starts to settle and dissipate a bit. And then take a moment to find and to notice your breath. Is it smooth and liquidy? Is it short and choppy? And take a moment to notice your hands and where they are contacting either your body or the mat. Notice if it's symmetrical or if there's some asymmetry between the two sides of your body. And again, we're not going to fix it, we're just going to allow it. And then we're going to start with just the tiniest bit of gentle movement with our eyeballs, doing an eye clock, keeping your eyes closed. We're just going to take our eyeballs to the left and up and around to the top, 12 o'clock, and around, looking through the side of your head to 3 o'clock, and down and around to 6 o'clock. And slowly finding 9 o'clock. And let's reverse, taking your eyeballs back down, looking through your cheekbones at 6 o'clock. And finding their way to 3 o'clock. up and around to 12 o'clock, and down and around to 9 o'clock. And then just allow your internal gaze to find its way into a gentle forward direction before you slowly open your eyes. And let's take our hands together and just give them a gentle rub. Just a bit of friction, a bit of warmth, and then take your hands to your thighs and give them a bit of a gentle rub. And maybe the outside of your thighs. And choose an arm and give it a little bit of attention on the top side and the inside. And switch. And switch. And rest. And then just notice if you can find a bit of fluidity in your spine, just moving in any way that feels good to you. Just play around for a minute, finding a bit of flexion and extension, and notice if you take your gaze with it, if that helps. And if you're doing one side, make sure that you try and explore the other side as well. And then just coming back to a place of neutral. Let's unfold our legs and find ourselves over on all fours. So take just a moment to connect to your mat. If you're on a mat, just notice even the tactile sensation of it. Notice the stickiness of it, the tacky sensation, and how your skin interacts with that sensory input. Get your toes tucked under and take a moment to really spread and tuck your toes. Notice each finger pad on the mat. And let's start with a little bit of rocking. So lead with your tailbone to go back and the crown of your head to go forward. Again, lead with your tailbone to go back and the crown of your head forward, and draw it back, sitting into a nice deep hip crease, and take it forward and find kind of a middle point. Let's take it side and side, and just draw your attention to your pelvis. Notice how it's gliding really smoothly over your hip sockets. Notice your connection points into the mat. And notice how your abdominal support just kind of gently comes online on its own when you don't overly control it and you allow ease in the bones. Ease and gliding. And come to rest, and let's just connect all of those points. So take your head forward and lead with your tail, take it around to the side and then back, around to the other side and forward. Let's do one more that direction, circling and circling, and take it around to the other side. And coming through the side and to the front and to the other side and back. You might notice a bit of a deep hip stretch through the back side of your glutes as you sit back and rest. Let's add a little bit of spinal extension and flexion. So leading with your tailbone, just scoop your tail under and then allow your head to gently follow. Again, lead with your tailbone, lift your tail, let that ripple through your spine, and allow your gaze to lift. Scoop your tail under, hollow your belly, and allow your head to follow. So notice the undulating quality. Again, scooping your tail, curve and hollow, allow your upper back to soften and your head to follow, and then your tailbone to lift. Good. And rest. Sit yourself back onto your heels, untuck your toes, and if you need to adjust your hands back a bit, that's fine. And then just take a little side to side motion again here, rocking your sitting bones onto either side of your heels as you keep your hands and all 10 digits connected into the mat. And come back to center, and let's just take our weight forward once again onto all fours. Tuck those toes for me once again. Get yourself adjusted. Sense some energy through the crown of your head and the tip of your tailbone. And let's see if we can stretch our left leg out behind nice and long. And sense that there's a connection between your left hand and your right leg supporting that diagonal line. And then see if you can gently lift that leg up and hold, getting into some deep core work. And let's take a foot dome, so flex your foot, but also gently elongate and curve your toes. And let's add a little bit of a bounce, taking a little bit of an up and down motion with that extended leg. And bring it back into stillness and rotate it outward. And take a bit of a bounce. Check back in with that head to tail connection. And rest. And bring it in. Get yourself reorganized and send your right leg away. Noticing the connection between your right hand and your left leg supporting so you can lift that right leg. Dome the foot and start to bounce. And externally rotate from deep inside the hip socket and keep that bounce going. You might notice a little bit, I certainly do, of deep stretch in your really lower abdominals, which is kind of a place that can get collapsed from sitting all the time. And rest. Bring that back into neutral alignment with your knee facing the mat and bring everything in. Sit yourself back on your heels and just breathe. And then we're going to come down to our left side. So get yourself organized onto the left side, and definitely if you feel like you would like a bit of support, you can grab something to support your head. So just coming down to your left side, and take a moment to let your spine settle in this position, and then you're going to stack knee over knee, hip over hip, and shoulder over shoulder, and dome both feet before we start to just lift that top leg and lower it back down, and lift that top leg and lower it down and float it up and take it down and float it up and take it down, float it up and hold. Extend that knee, sweep your whole leg back, fold everything in and reach it forward. Swing it back, fold it in, reach it forward, swing it back. Good. Let's reverse, bring it forward, fold, extend back. Notice that there's kind of a spiral, a deep spiral that happens inside your spine when you move your leg position. You may or may not be able to sense it, but it's there. And swing that leg forward and take it back and hold. And we're just going to go into internal rotation of the hip with your toes pointing down, and we're going to take 2 beats. We're going to go beat, beat, and then 2 beats to the front with external rotation. So we have in, into the back, and out, out to the front. In, into the back, out, out to the front. Adding the breath, we have inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. and rest. Good. So let's just take your bottom arm up a bit and your top arm right on top of it, and we're just going to glide forward with our fingertips and then glide back. If you want to make the rotation even deeper, you can add the eyeball coordination in. So as you draw back, look through the left side of your head, or excuse me, the right side of your head towards the back of the room. And as you reach forward, look down towards the floor. And look towards the back of the room to pull back. And look at the floor to glide forward. Again, look at the back of the room to glide back. And look at the floor to glide forward. And come to a place of rest. Now that top arm is just going to open, and you're going to keep your gaze on your fingertips the whole time until you feel like you kind of stop moving. And then you're going to bring everything back in. Always keeping your eyes on your fingertips. And open everything up. And close everything in. And open everything up. And close everything in. And one last motion here. Your fingertips are going to glide along the floor. You're going to paint them along the floor, keeping your eyeballs on them as best you can. Sweeping around. I'm running into the sofa here. Down and around. Notice that there's a swivel motion that has to happen. And by no means do you have to force the full range of motion. Let's move it in the opposite direction. So if you reach a point where it's just not going to move, then that's your range of motion for now. And you can also experiment with not keeping your fingertips on the ground all the way. Because this is a pretty full range of motion. You have to have a good amount of mobility through your entire body, which will allow your shoulder to glide smoothly and rest. Gently push your weight up, and actually let's just add a little bit of a wee push-up in here, so you don't have to come all the way to the side, maybe like on a 45-degree angle, and your backhand can be forward a bit. Let's turn the fingertips in a little bit, and you're just going to come down and push up. Actually, let your front arm bend back, or excuse me, your front arm bend backwards, and the arm that's towards the back of your mat bend outward. Good, and take it down and press it up and take it down and press it up and rest. Good, let's repeat that whole sequence on the other side. So flip around, get your cushion with you. And let's see if I can remember it on this side. So take your top leg, float it up, dome the foot, and then set it back down. Take it up and set it down and take it up and down. Good. Take it up and hold. Stretch that leg out. Sweep it back. Fold it in. Reach it long. Sweep it back. Fold it in. And reach it long. Reverse. Fold everything in. Feel the spiral through your spine, deep and internal. Sweep it forward. Fold in. Reach back. Stretch long. Again, fold it in. Reach back. And hold. We have in, out, out. Beat in, beat out, out. And rest. Good. Bring that leg in. And let's take our little bit of a glide here. So gliding forward and gliding back. Looking down at the floor. and looking back, and looking down at the floor, and looking back, looking down, looking back. Good. Rest. Keep your eyes on your fingertips. Open up and close. Open up and close, and open and close, and put those fingertips on the floor as we spiral around. See, I have things in my way and less mobility on that side, so just kind of play with it. Imagine that your fingertips are actually on the floor if they're not touching all the way. And take it around 2 times the other direction, reaching back and swivel. Just maintaining an imaginary floor that you've brought up to meet your range of motion. And rest. Good. Propping yourself up for those push-ups. Let your back arm be forward and your front arm be a little bit more in toward you. That back elbow is out and the front elbow is going to fold straight down. Good. Lowering and lifting. Lowering and lifting. One more time here. And rest. Good. Let's just end with a little bit of a stretch on our back. So come to lie on your back, and certainly you can keep your cushion under your head for support. And just draw either leg up towards your chest. Give it a nice big hug and see if you can keep your shoulders relaxed. And then let's see if we can slowly start to walk the opposite leg down along the mat and allow it to unfold and open up through the front of the hip. And then let's just take that top leg across. You might get a bit of an adjustment in your lower back, pelvis. And bring yourself onto your back. And let's switch sides. Bring that opposite leg up. Walk the other leg down along the mat until it's reaching nice and long, open through the front of the hip. And draw yourself across into some rotation, a spiral. And come back onto your back. Bring both legs up, knees bent, feet together, and then allow your legs to just gently drop open with the outside edges of your feet only in contact with the mat. And you're going to just open as far as you can go and feel supported. And then walk your feet in so that the soles of your feet are kissing each other. And then you're going to take that whole kind of boat shape in your lower body and rock it. And rest. And just bring your feet, the soles of your feet, back to the mat. And this time let your knees drop inward. And you can just stay there. Oh, I have a Charlie horse in my foot. Ouch. I'm going to add a little bit of motion in because I was getting a cramp in my foot. So you can either just stay in stillness or add a little bit of motion in, whatever feels better to you. And then come to rest when you're done either way. Close off your eyes once again. And with eyes closed, either side, just pick a direction and start rolling your weight over onto your side. And pushing your weight up. And getting yourself all the way back around to where we started. Close off your eyes once again. And let's just take a moment to end with a connection to all those things that we started with. So notice any flashing behind your eyes. Has it settled a bit? Notice your breath. Does it feel more smooth and sustained? Notice your hands and where they're contacting your body. Does there feel to be more symmetry? And just notice anything else that's calling your attention. And then you can open your eyes with me. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to bring you some movement videos more regularly. I'm going to challenge myself to do that, but as I always say to my really good friend and wellness coaching client, that we're going to do it with gentle and enjoyable effort at the same time as well. So striking a balance between getting it done, but also enjoying yourself and not being a martyr about it. So with that in mind, I will do my very best, and I hope to see you again really soon. Take care, and bye for now.